box yourself into your niche.
Right.
Niche yourself into your niche. You know? But
Just
make
niche
it
yourself down. Hi, everybody, and welcome to Why Bother, the podcast where we explore why creative makers bother doing things the hard way. I'm your host, Gareth Davies from Maker House. Joining us today is our guest, Meredith Newberry from Good Neighbour Soap.
Hello.
Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me.
I'm really excited to learn a bit more about Good Neighbour, the history, the motivation behind making amazing soap. She's one of the many talented artists that we get to represent at the store. And we've sold a lot of your soap bars over the years.
People are very clean in Ottawa, I'm pleased to say.
I hope so. And thanks to you, they're even cleaner. So you told me when I invited you and asked you to join us that you're a big fan of podcasts.
Mm-hmm, definitely.
So why are you such a big fan of podcasts?
Podcasts are a great break from reality, maybe.
Okay.
I know I told you this one. I listen to Conan O'Brien Needs a Friend because it gives me such a great laugh. So I listen to them. I listen to a lot of true crime podcasts too. Yeah. I don't know why I'm embarrassed to admit that. It's like kind of the OG, because it's like the mainstream podcast. I guess so, yeah. I love listening to those. And so when I'm doing a lot of my work down in my workshop, when I'm making soap, when I'm measuring oils and getting everything ready, I always have my earbuds in and I listen to a podcast.
What a great way to be entertained, right? Be
entertained, exactly.
Yeah, I'm fascinated by the medium because it's kind of like a long form in a very snippet world that we're in now. And why do you bother coming on our podcast when we're just like small potatoes?
Because I love you guys. Truthfully, there's nothing better than walking into Maker House and hearing from the back office, Meredith! And then Jen will come running out greeting me, and everybody is so welcoming and warm. And so it's just part of why I do this is having all of that joy around. Well,
that means a lot to us, obviously. And you are so well loved by our team. Thank you for sharing that. Let's hop right in now to the topic du jour. Mm-hmm. Why bother? And we're going to start with a little rapid fire. Okay. Just something fun.
I'm on. I'm ready.
Bother or not bother? These are your two choices. I'm going to name something. Rapid fire. Let's go.
Okay.
Early mornings.
Not bother.
Okay. I'm with you on that. Mm-hmm. Yoga.
Bother. It's not a bother, but it's a good bother.
Yeah. It keeps you healthy. Mm-hmm. Tent camping.
Ugh, not bother.
Bugs?
Everything. Snakes? Killer frogs?
Yeah. Okay, I think your imagination's getting the best of you there.
Yeah, maybe.
Board games.
Bother.
Me too. Yeah. Let's do a couple of scents since you're in the soap game.
Okay.
Patchouli.
Not bother. It's a very unpopular opinion to say that to many, but if you blend it right, it's great. I have patchouli in one of them there, but on its own, not bother.
It's love and hate, right?
Rapid fire, right, got it.
Citrusy scents.
Bother.
Oh, that was quick.
Mm-hmm, yeah.
And one more, very divisive. Yeah. Cilantro.
Love cilantro. Bother.
Yeah, me too. I don't find it tastes like your products.
Yes, I've heard that.
People think it tastes like soap.
Mm-hmm. Apparently that's a thing, an enzyme that you have.
It's like a gene.
Yeah.
Enzyme.
Thank you. Let's go with Gene.
I love Gene. Great
Learning
guy.
Things on
great
podcasts.
Guy, great gal. All right. So let's get serious.
Okay. I'll try.
So you were in sales and marketing before this and then on mat leave. Why did you jump from that into the entrepreneurial journey of Good Neighbour Soap?
Well, I wanted to be at home with my kids and my family, and I can't sit still. I can't not be doing something. And so my good neighbor, Amanda, she said one day we were at the park, she's like, I just got this new soap kit. Do you want to make soap? Like, yeah, I do.
So it all started with a DIY kit?
Exactly.
And a good neighbor.
Yeah. Well, yeah. The whole reason behind the name is because of Amanda and I. We are
Amazing.
Quite literally, we were neighbors when we started the business together. So and cool. It was easy to come up with the name for that reason. And yeah, the next day we went home and we made our first batch of soap and it didn't stop.
Love it. Mm-hmm. Why soap though? I guess that you had the kit. So if Amanda had a kit for making pizza.
Yeah.
I guess you don't need a kit
I'd
for
be
that.
here slogging pizza.
But no, soap obviously must mean something to you. Like, why would you decide to make this a career?
Yeah. Well, soap does. It came to mean something to me. I can go back to places and remember the scent of, like, whether it was the soap I used in my dorm room or a scent I would take on a trip to Scotland. I can go back and remember those scents very specifically. And so being able to imbue the soaps with those scents and those memories, I think it's just fantastic to me. So I love being able to control and create these new blends and then have it in something that can be useful, that completely disappears when it's gone and doesn't leave a trace behind. So it's a pretty great format for me to delve in.
That's great. So you touched on the nostalgia of scents, and I think everyone can relate to that.
Yeah.
That can hit you like a train out of the, out of left field, I guess.
They do all the trains in left field. Yeah, it happens.
That's where most people keep their trains, in left field. Yeah, that can hit you out of nowhere when you smell something and it brings back a memory. I love that. And then the environmental piece. So we're going to unpack that a little bit more. Let's go specific to something that you bother doing the hard way in your business that could be done easier, but you still bother doing it the hard way. And why?
I think I have been genetically predisposed to do everything the hard way. I think that's me.
Poor you.
I know. Poor my husband. Poor my family. Yeah. So making soap generally is the hard way. You can buy kits that are melt and pour. You can buy pre-measured oils and butters and do that, but you lose the control over that. So by making cold process soap, which is what I make, you have all of the control. And maybe that's the part in there that I've messed up. The
Cold
control.
Oh, the control. Oh, that's
the control element
motivation.
of it. Yeah, because I know exactly what's going into these bars. If someone says, hey, what's in this? I know because I have measured it, I have poured it, and I have done it. So that is a really important part to be able to do that. So yeah, I make the cold process, which is the harder version of soap to make, but it's what I prefer and it's what I enjoy. I mean, other hard things. Yeah, I do.
Probably a list of
absolutely.
Things you could be doing easier if you bought a 100%. Contraption or hired or outsourced. Yeah.
But even down to ingredients, when Amanda and I first started the business, and we have since parted ways, unfortunately, we just couldn't manage it together during COVID, doing it together. So that was a big change. But when we first started the business, it was our definition of natural was all natural. So plant-derived clays, essential oils. So we didn't kind of grab fragrance oils or micas or dyes or things that would have made it easier to color a soap or to make it smell stronger or different. So you're never going to get body shop smells, that kind of scent, or those crazy vibrant colors that you'll see in the kaleidoscope. But I think it's worth it to do it the harder way and for us to go all natural. Yeah.
In the body care and soap making industry, there is a lot of easy shortcuts to better scents, longer lasting scents, better lather, things that customers might want, but they don't recognize how that's happening.
Yeah, for sure.
So I think that's amazing and good for you to stay true to the idea of health and natural ingredients. Because it does really come through in your brand and your products. Talking to you, obviously, something that is clearly really important to your business.
Thank you.
And I honestly think it's really important to your customers and to the people who shop your products at our store as well. So thank you for doing that.
You're welcome.
Hold the torch. Keep it up high. Let's talk about the cost of convenience. Kind of the flip side of doing things the hard way. What's something that you or somebody else might do the convenient way? And is there a hidden cost to doing it the quote unquote easy way?
So I was going to say that my easy way of doing it is by not making my own website or my e-commerce platform. And I just immediately went over to Shopify. That was so much easier than creating a whole new skill set by doing my own website. So that was easy. I mean, yes, you pay for it and you have the monthly cost of it, but I think that's a no-brainer in terms of running a business online on these days, that you get Shopify. Use
a plug and play platform like Shopify. Hashtag not sponsored.
Not sponsored.
This is completely impromptu, unplanned. I didn't know you were going to say that. But if you'd like to sponsor a Shopify, my email is okay. That's a good example of where you didn't decide to spend the hours or weeks or months building your own website.
Yeah.
Even though you do have a good technical background.
Yeah.
As a side note, you told me you are a master at CorelDRAW, one of the leading technology graphical platforms of 40 years ago. No, I'm kidding. 20 years ago.
I was a master 40 years ago.
CorelDRAW, an Ottawa legend, an icon.
Exactly. Oh, I love Draw, and everybody will know who knows me. I love Draw. It got me into just the aesthetics of things, into layout, into photo editing, all that. I love it. And I love that side of the business. It's one of my favorite pieces.
That side of like graphic design, doing your labels.
Yeah, the photos. Yep.
Amazing. Well, good for you to be a pioneer of CorelDRAW. And I also hope that we have a listener or a viewer out there who is like, I loved CorelDRAW. So
come on,
if it's
Rick
you,
Champagne.
Yes, drop the comment so we know you're out there, because I know you're not alone. All right. And we're actually going to take a quick break now before our next segment.
Okay.
So everybody out there, please do like, subscribe, and share, and stay tuned. And we'll be right back. Are you a mug lady?
I'm a big mug lady, yes.
Yeah. Do you see mugs?
Do you enjoy it?
And you're like, I can't buy this until I find room in my cupboard?
No. I wish I was that mug lady. I'm the mug lady that says, hey, I need that mug. It's going to go in the cupboard anyway.
So we get bigger cupboards?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Pretty much.
You are renovating.
That's why we're renovating now.
For all your mugs.
No, well, you guys will recognize this. Anyone who shops, this is from Maker House. It's my favorite. I walked in to drop off soap and went out with a mug. So sidebar.
All right. Welcome back, everybody. Let's get into it. Our second segment. Here's a fun fact about the soap and the global beauty and skincare industry.
Oh, I sense this isn't going to be a fun fact after all.
Let's see.
Come on.
There's over 120 billion units of packaging produced each year globally in this industry. Less than 10% of those are recycled. The rest end up in landfill. How does this fact relate to your business?
Well, it's a terrible fact, and it's one that I will do everything in my personal and my business life to avoid. I think overpackaging in every industry is just a problem. And so in my piece of the world, I will do whatever I can to limit the amount of packaging that I can handle out, as well as all of the pieces of the puzzle that go into making the soap. So whether it's the containers that I buy my ingredients in, the containers that I use to create them, the molds, everything has to be reusable for me, and something that's not going to be tossed out once a week into recycling or, as you mentioned, landfill. So packaging is one of those pieces. So pretty minimalist when it comes to my products. The bar itself can be sold on its own. I have had stores that have sold just the bar on its own without a label. Yeah. And so what I do, though, is I use some eco-friendly paper, and then I just print a label that wraps around each bar or shampoo, and that can be tossed into the recycling or reused if you wanted it to, little to-do notes and all those sort of things. Keep it for the next time you want to re-up your shampoo collection.
Nice and simple, right? And it does the job. You've got your brand on there. Yeah,
all the Health Canada requirements are up to date on that. Yeah. And so for things that can't go in paper, obviously, like some of the face oils or the lip balms, I always choose either glass, aluminum, or cardboard, so that I'm not part of the problem that instead we need to be solving. Yeah. Okay. And so it's not just the plastic that lands in landfill, it's the plastic and all of the micro pieces of plastic that land in the oceans, obviously,
right.
and then come back into everything that we have. Yeah. So that's important.
Yeah. And good for you to lead on that. It's nice that more companies are conscious of their impact. Customers too. Obviously, the market kind of leads the way.
Absolutely.
And it's another reason people buy your products.
Yeah. And the shampoo bar is one of the biggest pieces of the business. People don't want to have plastic in their shower. And I am so proud to say that there's not a single piece of plastic in my shower. I can use a shampoo bar. I can use a conditioner bar. Everything is in a solid shape in the shower. So
you're not obviously wasting plastic packaging, but also the water and the weight that goes into those bottles, because I understand they're just taking a concentrate like you would have in your bar. And obviously the mixed chemical mixture might be different, but they're adding quite a bit of water into these plastic bottles that get shipped all across the world.
Yep.
So it's wasteful from like a freight standpoint too. What does it mean when we say natural soap? Natural
soap runs a gamut. So what I always say is that a consumer needs to know what natural means to them. So for me, when I look for a product or when I make a product, it means that everything has come originally from nature and hasn't been created in a lab.
Okay.
So you're going to get cocoa butter and shea butter and olive oil and those things in my soaps, but you're not going to get glitter. You're not going to get dyes or fragrance oils. And all of those things can go into natural bars. And if that's what you want, that's what you can get. And so there's the gamut of natural, and just need to understand really labels so that when you're buying something, when you're in Maker House and you go through and you read the labels, you're not going to understand everything, because a lot of these labels are very confusing.
Right.
And we do this to be compliant with Health Canada.
You got to have the ingredients. You
Absolutely.
Got to put the real names or chemical names.
Yeah. And so it really does help if you know what you're looking for and you know where your limitations are.
So don't just rely on the word natural.
Yes.
It's a buzzword.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and a company will use it for greenwashing purposes. But in other cases, like with your products, it actually does mean something to the maker, and it's actually part of your values, your lifestyle. Like you said, there's not even any plastic in your shower, which is a mark that we should all reach for. Thanks for unpacking that a little bit for us, talking about these fun but slightly disturbing facts about the beauty and skincare industry. Let's skip over to your personal motivations for shopping local, supporting small business. Why do you bother?
I bother in a lot of ways because for me, I am so lucky to live where I do. In Ottawa in general, we are very close to so many amazing artists. We're and I consider artists in so many different degrees, whether it's food, whether it's art, whether it's clothing, we're so accessible to it. So we're very lucky that we can buy local and support local. It's so convenient for me too. I live in Old Ottawa East and I'm 3 blocks away from small independent boutiques, from small restaurants. So for me, it's not a bother to buy local.
Right.
But
it's actually convenient.
It is.
Great.
So for me, that's a great thing. But I also wanted just to be able to keep the money in our economy. And so it's so nice to know when I can wear something that I've got from Flock or the earrings from a market. There's a story behind them. I can tell people when they say, oh, that's a really cool, blah, blah, blah. Hey, yeah, well, this is who made it. And I love knowing the story behind my things.
Yeah. We all do. And that's part of the marketing referral strategy for a lot of local businesses is they're part of a tight-knit community, and their customers are so passionate about buying from them that they're going to get comments, compliments, and tell the story, share the goods. We get that a lot. And it's great to hear that for you, where you live in an urban setting close to downtown Ottawa, that it's actually more convenient to shop local and go to small boutiques than it would be to go to Walmart or even order off Amazon. So that's fantastic.
Yeah. And I recognize how lucky I am to have that opportunity. And that's not for everybody, but I am lucky to have that.
Fair enough. Yeah. And it's a choice you make to live there, because if you're living in the burbs, you don't have that as much by design, unfortunately. When you first started or growing up, who was your biggest supporter in craft generally, and why?
Well, this one, I'm going to have to make a few enemies when I say this, because my mom's going to be like, come on. But it's got to be my dad, because the mantra that he repeated was to my brother and I, Meredith, you can do anything that you put your mind to, no matter what. He still says it to me this day. I don't know, Dad. Meredith, you can do anything you put your mind to.
Right. Just super supportive.
Yep.
Don't limit yourself.
Yep. Just think and you can do.
Which every entrepreneur needs to have like built into your DNA. Because it's not just the leap to start a company. It's all the decisions along the way, the barriers you'll hit, the challenges where you're like, can I go on? And if you've got that persistent
voice.
Yeah. It says you can do it.
Yeah.
You know,
and then
focus.
He started making all my soap molds for me too.
Amazing.
So there you go, Dad.
Go, Dad. All right. We're going to take a quick break here, and then we'll be right back with our last segment, and we'll see you or hear you all soon. Welcome back, everybody. We're here still with Meredith Newberry.
Yeah. Can't get rid of her.
She's the best. We're going to be here all day. So we're actually going to kick this segment off. We're going to do some fun food sampling now.
Yes.
From the shop. You picked one of your favorite Makers products that you wanted to try here on the podcast. We're looking at some Piece by Chocolate covered pretzels and also made by Piece by Chocolate covered cookies.
It's actually why I came on the podcast. You asked me earlier. It's when I said, oh, yeah, chocolate. Yeah, in.
Yeah, food is a great draw. That's how we reel in all the guests here. So let's go ahead. Which one do you want to try first? Pretzels or cookies? All right.
The perfect combination of sweet and salty.
Pretzel cheers.
Cheers. Faux pas. I've already eating.
Oh, no.
I was like the Muppet with Cookie Monster.
All right. What do we think about these? Yeah.
They're so delicious. They're crispier than anything else I've tried.
Let's try the cookies.
Let's do it.
Go ahead.
I stole it first time here. Maybe I'll pass you.
Soap makers first, as they say.
They do say, don't they? You know what these would be really good with? Coffee.
Yeah.
Coffee, bother. Dip this in coffee, big bother.
Coffee, don't bother. Not for me.
I know you're drinking tea over there.
I'm a tea drinker. Do you drink tea? We're done here.
I drink it in the afternoons.
It's really nice knowing you.
No, I do. I actually
Glad
really
we shared
do.
a cookie before we broke up.
I love tea in the afternoons. In the morning, I need coffee, and I work with a lovely tea sommelier to make my Earl Grey soap. And I learned so much about different teas from her.
Oh, it's a rabbit hole.
It
tea
is.
Science, for sure.
It is.
What do you like better?
So pretzels with my tea in the afternoon.
Okay.
The cookies with my coffee in the morning.
You can't go wrong.
No, you can't.
Amazing.
No, I mean, you could. You did it every day. But I don't think you can go wrong.
Yeah, don't finish the whole box. I'm a cookie. I'm going with the cookie. I've loved these pretzels. I actually haven't tried the cookie yet. And it's blowing me away.
Well, you're welcome. I'm glad that I could pick these and bring this to you.
Thanks for picking chocolate so we could try some.
My pleasure.
So now we're going to get into tips for aspiring makers, tips for aspiring business leaders, what to do, what not to do. What say you?
Okay. I say what to do is everything before you start selling. So know your why. Know why you're doing this and know very clearly why you bother, because it's not going to be easy. Down the road, you're going to run into COVID. You're going to run into insane pricing hikes in all of your ingredients. And you're going to just run into criticisms. You're going to run into bad people. And you're going to wonder, why am I doing this? And if you have done the work up front to say, this is my limit. This is why I'm making baby clothes. This is why I'm making sustainable clothing. This is why I'm making eco-friendly soap bars. Then all your questions are answered. So if someone says to you, hey, do you make foaming hand soap? No, I don't. You can't get glass foam jars. You have those questions answered for you.
And that was built into your why, because it's sustainability is a key value.
Yeah.
So when it came to foaming soap, it was a no-brainer. You didn't really have to hem and haw because it went back to your core why.
Yeah, you get your core values set, and then That's smooth sailing from then on in. No problems.
Yeah. A lot of companies, organizations have core values. They're listed, on their website. People think it's just like buzzwords and filler, but in the best case, and sometimes they are, for sure. But in the best of cases, they are a North Star. They're a guidepost, like you were saying.
Especially in a small business, when you are the one making decisions, make it easy on yourself. Box yourself into your niche.
Right.
Niche yourself into your niche. But
just
make
niche yourself down.
But truly, you don't have to appeal to everybody. I realize not everybody is going to want my soap, but I know the people who do want my soap.
And they align with those values.
Yes.
What is your biggest hobby or passion outside of work, outside of this passion that is work?
Outside of my family, which is my number one hobby, of course.
Yeah.
But I love watercolor painting. Love it.
Oh, cool.
Just about to go into a week of workshops and put on by Happily Ever Crafter, Becca Cordes.
Amazing.
And for those of you who don't know her, she's amazing.
Shout out.
Local.
Check out Happy Ever Crafter.
And there's so many other Mabs and Joe Girl. There are other local artists as well.
Ottawa's got a great scene.
Really great.
Workshops for watercolor calligraphy.
Yes.
Crystal Bashara is another one I'll shout out.
Yeah. And so it's a global workshop. So it's all done online. But based out of Ottawa
she's
as
actually
headquarters.
Here. Yeah. But she's gone global. She's millions of followers.
It's huge. So it's huge. And I'm so excited to be a part of that and to learn more.
You have a very colorful personality. Is this related to your watercolor painting? I think you've had that first.
I think so.
So cheesy. I'm glad you're laughing. I appreciate it. Let's go to what we call
the point of connection.
Okay. This is where we talk about people and connecting through your business. Is that important to you and why?
100%. This is such a personal product, physically very personal product. So people do connect. When I can hear from somebody that, like this one I do hear quite a lot, the face oil, that it's changed how they feel about themselves, how they look. And it doesn't matter how you look, but if your face that you present feels really great, then awesome. I've made a difference in that. And that's really important to me. But to know that people are also trusting to take these bars into the shower with them, it's a pretty intimate experience.
It's true. And you don't think about that all the time.
No.
But you kind of do really need to trust the people who are making your soap.
Yes.
Which is why I don't buy Irish Spring.
There you go. Sometimes the economy dictates what your comfort level can be too, right? Yes. So
price is a factor.
Yeah, absolutely.
But knowing the maker, getting to through means like this podcast or your Instagram, the face behind the business, building up that level of trust and connection. Meeting you at markets. I'm hopefully you're getting back into that a little bit. I saw you at many before COVID.
Yes.
And that's a great place to connect with customers.
It is. And I have been out of the market scene for too long. It's been a long time getting back in there.
Yeah, because it does fill up the bucket. Same thing with us when we're in the shop, making those customer connections. We talk about it as a team because it kind of fills up everybody's bucket to remember. That's a big why. That's a big reason we do what we do to make those real connections.
Yep.
Before we wrap things up, what is the big focus for you this year? What kind of projects you got going on?
Well, right now I am working on packaging, and that I hope to have sort of some sparkly, but not glittery, fresh packaging. So that's on my to-do list right now.
Shiny, but not plastic.
Exactly. It'll still be paper-based. But yeah, just something that a little bit of a refresh. People always remark on the bike that is on my label. So I'll keep
the bike.
The bike.
Where does the bike come from on your logo?
Well, the bike originally came because my good neighbor Amanda, she had all the bikes. So she had the road bike, the regular bike, the e-bike, everything. And so it just sort of was like, hey, this represents what we feel. Everything can be simple. Everything can be sustainable, and not everything has to run on petroleum. So it brings us back to that simple idea of just the beauty of the bike.
I love it. The common thread that runs through body care and transportation.
Yes.
And the bike does kind of tie it together.
Yeah.
Plus, it's who you are and who Amanda is as your co-founder.
Mm-hmm.
So where can people find you? If people want to follow you and keep up with Good Neighbor Soap.
Yep. Well, the first place would obviously be Maker House. Slide on over there, ride your bike on by.
Yes, please do.
And online for me. Normally I do local pickup. We're on a bit of a hiatus right now while I have ripped out the front half of my house.
Big renos.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, and follow me on Instagram at Good Neighbor Soap.
All right. So be sure to check out Good Neighbor. Follow Meredith along her journey. See where she's going with her new packaging. And thank you for tuning in and listening. If you're listening, watching, if you're on YouTube.
Yeah.
As we begin our journey, our podcast journey here with this first season, we're so honored to have you and to work with you in our shop.
And me too. Thank you guys, everybody, for listening.
It's a pleasure to work with you. It just really is. You're good people.
Thank you.
You're obviously a good neighbor, except for those noisy renovations.
I don't know.
And we will see you all on our next episode of Why Bother. Thanks for tuning in.
Thank you.